Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Gold with only Nidorans was a fun but very close tag run. Let's follow that up with a brutal solo run. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Emerald with a team of only one Gastly? So Gastly is a first form ghost and poison type that always has Levitate, so ground moves won't hurt us. And that's a good thing, because when you look at these stats, great special attack, solid speed, and horrible everything else. With health, defense, and special defense all being so low, this is for sure going to be a glass cannon run. Plus, super low attack is brutal in a generation where ghost moves are physical. Now, by level up, we don't really learn much that I want. Notice how we can't learn Shadow Ball by level up in Emerald, just in Fire Red and Leaf Green. That means our best move by level up is Hypnosis and Nightshade, I guess? I mean, Hypnosis only has 60 accuracy, but at least it's a decent last resort move. Nightshade could at least get us through a little bit of the early game. I figure that it's a must-have for the first gym. By TM, we thankfully learned some better moves. For the same type attack bonus, we can get Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb. They're both strong moves, but the fact that they're both physical means we'll probably still end up doing less damage in the end than stuff like Thunderbolt and Psychic. So I'm for sure learning those. I figure I'm gonna need Shadow Ball no matter what though. Even with it being weaker and physical, it's super effective against stuff that we need to be able to one-shot, so I think it's gonna save us. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge. All of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I don't know, I'm really skeptical about this one. I figure there's no way I beat Stephen Stone in the post-game, and it wouldn't really surprise me if I don't beat Wallace either. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Gastly. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. Also, if I sound a little bit hoarse, or if the voiceover is weird because I might take long breaks between pages, I am medically going through a lot right now. Like even today included. I'll tell you about all of it at the end of the video if you really care, but if you've been following on Twitter, then you probably already know. Look, I've seen 7 doctors in the last 10 days now, across 3 different hospital trips. So, it's a rough one, but the show must go on. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Mudkip with Gastly so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Coughing, like last time. Our nature is quiet, so more special attack and less speed. I was starting to get a good special attack nature, and this is probably the best one I could get. Less speed isn't really that big of a deal since we're already so fast, and we're gonna be over-leveled a lot. It is a solo run. So early game travel is really annoying for 2 reasons. One is that we hardly do any damage with Lick, but that's not so bad, because at least they can't hit me either. The more annoying reason is that we can't hit normal types. We only learn ghost attacking moves by level up, so when we need to make a normal type feint, we have to run out of power points and hope we can win with struggle. Naturally, I just avoid any trainers that I know have normal types for the sake of my own sanity, although I ran into a couple by accident. Once we've beaten the first gym, then I can get my hands on a TM for a new move, so I think this is a temporary issue. But it doesn't mean that I don't have to be very careful with what trainers I fight. I think there's no mandatory normal trainers until after the Rock Gym, but if something comes up and it is mandatory, then I'll show it to you. Right now, my goal is just to get to the Rock Gym and see how it goes, although I kind of assume I'm gonna lose until level 21 when I get Nightshade. I got to the Rock Gym at level 13, but right away her first Geodude was just using Rock Tomb, so we didn't last long. We were still faster after getting hit twice by it, so that's kinda cool, but obviously we were nowhere close to winning. I expected this, though. I'm gonna go grind in the Petalburg Woods until we're level 21 for Nightshade, and see if that does the trick. As soon as we hit level 21, we had a really easy time with the fight. It's not like it did amazing damage, but we're a high enough level that Rock Tomb wasn't doing much damage to us anymore, so it went okay. She still held on for a long time with potions and berries, but we weren't really in danger. Alright, now that we're traveling again, I made sure to do the cave early so that I could get to Slateport before the fighting gym. Normally I'd do the fighting gym first, but by doing Slateport first, I can get the TM for Thief. It's not really a great move for Gastly, but it's a special move in this game, and it can hit normal types. That's really all I needed. I'm not planning on using it for the fighting gym since they resist it, but who knows, let's just see what happens. Yeah, fighting gym was no problem. I think they might have just not had any moves that could hit us, because they just kept spamming bulk up more than usual. Easy win! Now next is the usually hard rival fight, and I figured I'd lose for sure since Grovyle has Pursuit, a super effective move. We actually ended up surviving with only 4 health though. Slugma could have finished us off, but we nailed Hypnosis right away and it stayed asleep, so we got a first try win. Now with that said, we for sure have to grind. It's the always hard electric gym next, and nothing about this is gonna go well. This isn't like Gen 1 where we can tank special moves. We're fragile no matter what hits us, and there's simply no way that we're getting one-shots with Nightshade. Not only that, but like you saw in the intro, we don't learn Shadow Ball by level up in this game. That wasn't until Fire Red. Now if I wanted, I could drive myself crazy playing the slots forever, then I could get the TM for Psychic, and that would be our strongest move by quite a bit. In fact, I bet that it would be stronger than Shadow Ball, considering Shadow Ball is physical in this game. It might not work very well against Magneton, but I can't really think of any alternative. There's no moves we can learn by level up that are gonna bail us out of this fight. I'll fight all the trainers in the area, try the gym at whatever level we end up at, probably lose, then we'll see how close we are to affording Psychic. I also grabbed the Macho Brace in the area so that I can max out our effort values much faster. As soon as they're maxed out, we can use rare candies instead of having to grind the old-fashioned way. So we get to the gym leader at level 33. Right away, we're outsped by Voltorb, paralyzed, we take it out in a couple of hits, and then we easily go down to Electrike right after. You know how I said this is the really hard gym? Voltorb and Electrike aren't normally the hard part. We usually one-shot them. This might take a long time. I'm gonna go grind until I think the effort values are full, and then I'll try again. So I grinded all the way to level 40, and although we're faster now, it still really doesn't go well. Voltorb always survives with a sliver, and either we get paralyzed by it, or off of static from Electric right after. Sometimes we can take out Magneton with a few Nightshades if we get good paralysis luck, but Magnetric always finishes us off easily right after. Alright, well, I only had less than a third of the money that I would need to convert into coins and get Psychic, so I'm gonna play the slot machine until I have enough for it. And by that I mean I'm gonna save Scum as hard as humanly possible to win the slot machines, because the slots are just the worst thing ever, and you came to see if I could beat the game with a Gastly, not to see if I have good luck on a slot machine. So I started doing the slot machines before I realized it makes way more sense to hack in rare candies, sell them for money, and then convert that into coins to save time. Probably saved me over an hour. After 2 tries where we were instantly hit by Supersonic and hit ourselves in confusion, and then a 3rd try where we got fully paralyzed right away, we got this one where I just hit Hypnosis to avoid the paralysis in the first place, took it out fast, then we one-shot Magnetric. I know that looked easy, but this was indeed a nightmare. So I'm really not sure how I feel about the next part of the run. I'd imagine Maxie won't be too hard, even if I can't use Psychic on Mightyena, but the Fire Gym is often pretty hard. Considering how frail we are, a move like Overheat might just one-shot us. At least if we make it past there, then there's the usually easy normal gym, but I'm pretty sure that some of his team has Feint Attack, so it's not like being a ghost is a get-out-of-jail-free card there. I don't really have any moves I want coming up, so let's just hope that we're strong enough to have an easy time at the fight when we get there. So Maxie's Mightyena did actually hit us really hard, and we took a bit of extra damage in the fight because I didn't just use Psychic on Zubat right away like I should have, but it was still pretty easy. I have less confidence in the Fire Gym. Oh, you know what? The Fire Gym was really easy. Borderline a sweep, although I'm expecting a lot of the mid-game fights is gonna more or less look just like this. Either we sweep them, or they probably one-shot us. It's just the nature of glass cannon runs like this. There's just about no in-between. You're either squashing them or getting squashed yourself. We do have really high special attack, so this is kind of what I was expecting. Will the normal gym go well? But on our way there, I took the Root Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comms are good for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, normal gym was a borderline sweep. Slacking was too tanky to one-shot, as you'd probably expect, but we put it to sleep right away with Hypnosis, so it didn't matter. This is always an easy gym, though. Alright, so we're headed to the super easy rival fight and the flying gym. I'm not too worried because I picked up Thunderbolt on the way, one of the strongest moves we're gonna have the whole run. I figured this is a must-have, what with the Pokemon champion being water type and all. Plus, it's gonna help in that flying gym. Not that I think that we have many issues in the first place. Who knows though, Skarmory can be a pain. If we get past that, then we can get Shadow Ball, but with it being physical in this game, not sure how worth it it's gonna be. Let's see how the fight goes. So the rival was a sweep, as expected. Have I ever lost this fight? Like, ever. Look, I know one of you MDB challenge scholars out there must know off the top of your head if I've lost to this or not. I know some of you fall asleep to this playlist. You've probably got my voice drilled forever into your subconscious. Some of you read my tweets in my voice in your head. You must know if I've lost this fight before. In the flying gym right after, we also took no damage. I'm like 99% sure we would've if Tropius didn't use Sunny Day and if we didn't crit Altaria, but I don't think we would have lost even if both of them hit us. Maybe we'd have low health, but not a loss. Okay, so we have a lot of travel now, and things are about to become awful. The Maxie fight will probably not be too bad unless Mightyena hits us like a freight train, but after that is the Psychic Gym double battle. You've seen how hard that one is, right? With a Pokemon this frail, I can't see us possibly winning below level 70, and that's the level we'd normally be at by the Elite Four. Like, even if I make a Shell Bell, how's that gonna save me? Sure, I don't have to worry about Earthquake for once, but his whole team knows Psychic, and that'll probably one-shot me. Even if I pick up Shadow Ball on the way, and I absolutely will, I'm still probably gonna lose a lot. Even if I land a one-shot on every attack, it's a double battle, so I'm still giving the Survivor a chance to hit us. I think I have to hope that Xatu is using Calm Mind like crazy so I can focus on the others first, then maybe take it out with Thunderbolt or something, but even that isn't super likely. Shadow Ball might be an even better idea, actually, because he's gonna be spamming Calm Mind. I don't know, it's hard to say. I'm sure I can win it eventually, but it's gonna take a long time. I've long since maxed out my effort values though, so if I get stuck on it at all, I'm gonna skip grinding and use rare candies. Let's fight Maxie first though. Wish me luck. Yeah, it was extremely easy. I was a little worried at the end when Camerupt kept using Amnesia, then kept healing with super potions, but then he used Earthquake and I realized he's probably got no moves that can hit us. So we won easily. The Psychic Gym right after was obviously a loss though. We got one shot with Psychic. Not gonna lie, I expect that to happen for a very long time. It's time to start with the rare candies. Level 60! This one's kinda crazy. So we one-shot Xatu right away, and Claydol was using Earthquake, so Magikarp goes down, but we're fine. We then landed a crit on Claydol with a Shadow Ball that totally would not have taken it out if not for the crit. That was really lucky. Not only that, but Solrock wasted its turn on Sunny Day. We actually one-shot Lunatone with Shadow Ball, and I was thinking I was gonna fluke my way through the fight, when Solrock survived Shadow Ball with a Sliver and one-shot us with Psychic. Okay, it was pure dumb luck that I even made it that far, so I should still level. Level 65! Yeah, this is more typical. We took out Xatu, Claydol isn't a one-shot, and it and Lunatone just both hit Psychic to take us out. At least it looks like it's almost a one-shot, so maybe I can brute force it soon. Level 70! Okay, so things start the same with Xatu going down and Claydol taking out Magikarp with Earthquake. Now, they would have easily won if Lunatone just went for Psychic to hurt us, but instead it used Calm Mind as we took out Claydol. Well, Shadow Ball is physical in this game, so Calm Mind didn't save him at all. I just one-shot him. Solrock used Sunny Day for no particular reason, then we one-shot it. Guess I was right when I figured we'd need to be around level 70. I actually feel really good about the next chunk of the run. We have Archie, who's gonna be a sweep with Thunderbolt, the Water Gym, who's mostly gonna be a sweep with Thunderbolt, and Wally, who's just not that good in general. Now with that said, the Elite Four might be a bit of a nightmare, but that's a problem for later. Right now I'm hoping to pick up some levels during our travel. There isn't really much we can do to improve the moveset at this point. I could probably swap Hypnosis for something more useful, but at the same time it's decent as a last resort move, so it could still save us. I'll see how I feel about it by the time of the Elite Four. So Archie was a sweep, as expected. I think the Water Gym will be a sweep. I figure at least Kingdra won't get one shot. So the entire fight was a sweep other than Kingdra, as expected. Actually, Whiscash was probably only a one-shot thanks to a crit, but that's okay. Kingdra only hit us once and really didn't do a ton, so we just two-shot it for an easy fight. Last year's Wally, who we also swept other than Magneton, who hit pretty hard, but only hit us once. I actually think that we could have lost a lot more health if Altaria didn't instantly fail Paralyze right at the start of the fight. That was pretty lucky. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, special attack is nearly 200 at level 73, so that's pretty incredible, and our health is higher than I expected as well. I'm also pretty sure that we're going to be faster than everything we fight, but wow, our special defense is just awful. I don't know if we're going to get one-shot by anything, but we could for sure get two-shot by a lot. This isn't hopeless, though. I figure Sydney is going to be awful, but why did the 7 Days to Die launcher just pop up on my screen? What? I figure Sydney is going to be awful, but if we can make it past that, then I think Phoebe and Glacia won't be too bad. Drake might be hard, but I actually think Wallace could be a first try. I'm going to make a Shell Bell, use a PowerPoint max on Psychic, and then give it a shot. Make your final guesses on if we can win this one or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Sydney, and this fight just blew my mind. First, we one-shot Mightyena with Thunderbolt, so that's a solid start, but next was Shift Tree. Now, it resists or is immune to all of our moves, so I tried Shadow Ball just to see if it would do much. It didn't, but it dropped his special defense. Well, all he was doing was using double teams, and we weren't missing our Thunderbolts, so despite him resisting us, we actually took him out without getting hurt. Next was Cacturn, who I knew would be a nightmare, but he was a two-shot and his Cotton Spore missed, so he did nothing. Crawdaunt was of course a one-shot with Thunderbolt, and so was Absol at the end. We didn't get hit. I thought this was going to be one of the hard ones. Second is Ghost Trainer Phoebe. I've got to show you this one. So the fight isn't hard. In fact, we one-shot our way through quite a bit of it, but I've tried it 3 times now, and every time this is exactly what happened. We get to Sableye, drop it to what looks to be about 1 health, then we go down to Shadow Ball. Now, there's no way that that's the upper limit of my damage range, so I'm pretty sure if I just try a few more times, then he'll faint. But after the 3rd time this happened, I figure it was absolutely worth showing, because this is insane. Alright, this was attempt 4. I'm gonna just eat a couple rare candies because this is ridiculous. Maybe it really is the top end of our damage range. Okay, that did the trick. Very next try and everything went fine. What a weird fight. I'm gonna have to use a max elixir after that one. Pressure is a brutal ability for the Elite Four to have in a solo run. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia. This one was actually really easy though. I figured I'd win, but I thought at least the Glalie would be difficult, but it was all really easy. The only damage we took was from Hail, but the Shell Bell healed us right back up. Drake's gonna go badly, right? Fourth is Dragon Trainer Drake. First is Shelgon, who is just a one-shot, but second is the much more dangerous Salamence. Now, on the first try, I lost a Crunch, so on this one I used Hypnosis right away, and it worked. I was able to hit a Psychic and a Thunderbolt to take it out. Next was Flygon, and I probably should have gone for Hypnosis because it turns out he has Crunch too. We took it out, but we got hit hard for more than half of our health. Altaria got paralyzed off a Thunderbolt, then used Dragon Dance. Well, the speed boost didn't matter much since he was paralyzed, so we just finished him off. Last is Kingdra, who took big damage from Thunderbolt, almost took us out with Surf, then went down to a second Thunderbolt. Hey, that was a first try! This is going better than I expected. Finally, Pokemon Champion Wallace. Right away, Whale Lord is just a one-shot, good start. Second is Whiscash, so we can't just use Thunderbolt. Because of that, we took a pretty huge hit before we could take him out. Third is Tentacruel, and we almost one-shot it, but it was able to finish us off. You know what, if I just hit Hypnosis on Whiscash, I bet you I could get a lot farther in this fight. Okay, it took a few tries, but I got Hypnosis to stick and took out Whiscash. We still took big damage from the Hydro Pump from Tentacruel right after, but we did actually take it out this time. Next up is Ludicolo though, and it actually took us out with 1 Surf when we had 113 health left. I really didn't think it was gonna do quite that much. Okay, well, a few more levels and I bet I could one-shot Tentacruel. That'll change things. Level 80, and we just one-shot Tentacruel now, so we're back in the game. Now, Ludicolo used Double Team this time, and we actually missed because of it, so thanks to that, we took a Surf anyway. It still hit super hard, but at least this time we survived with about half of our health left. Water Onix is double weak to Thunderbolt, so of course it was a one-shot. And last was Melodic, who survived Thunderbolt, hit a Surf that dropped us to only 30 health, then we finished it off with another Thunderbolt. I think the Shell Bell saved us on that one. With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 3 has a post-game fight with Stephen Stone. Now, I really doubt I'm gonna win this because we don't learn any fighting or ground moves, and those are pretty useful against his team. Considering how frail we are, we're probably gonna need to be level 100 to stand a chance. Who knows though, maybe it'll go fine. Won't know until we try. So first try, and we don't one-shot Skarmory right away, but it was fully paralyzed, and after he used a full restore, we one-shot him on the second try. Problem is, right after his Clay Doll. We were maybe close to a 2-shot, but then he used Reflect and got his full stats boost off an Ancient Power. Then we missed a Hypnosis a bunch. Just an awful start. We took him out eventually, much to my surprise, but as Metagross came out, we did almost nothing, then fainted. Okay, well, a few levels and I bet Clay Doll will go way better. 5 levels later and we can beat Clay Doll without getting hurt, but only if we get Hypnosis to land before it uses Reflect. Problem is, right after his Metagross, and we still don't do much damage to it, and it one-shots us with Psychic. You know what, if we did that much at level 85, then I think that it could be possible at level 100. I'm gonna give this a few more levels. Level 90. Yeah, I went basically the exact same. We took out almost half his health with Thunderbolt at least, so we're getting kind of close to this being more realistic. I guess with awesome Hypnosis luck, I could beat him right now, but that's not likely. Let's level more. Level 95. Nah, still not dealing half his health and damage. Still getting a one-shot. I'm getting iffy on this, but it's still probably possible. So I tried this several more times at level 100. The problem here is that we almost do enough damage for a 2-shot, but thanks to his berry, we never quite take him out, even if we put him to sleep. But he has so little health left on this attempt that I'm convinced that if we could either do slightly more through lucky damage ranges, or just had better sleep luck, then we could take him out. Now, I don't know if I could beat the rest of his team, but I don't want to give up until I've at least taken out Metagross. Worst case scenario, we wait for a lucky crit. I've got some time to kill. I think that we can do this. Okay, a wild 8 tries later and we finally got a crit. Before this, I had 7 straight tries where we either missed Hypnosis or he woke up the moment that he landed in red health. Missing Hypnosis, I get, but I came really close to a knockout on a lot of those attempts. Next was Credilli, and I was getting really worried when Psychic wasn't gearing up to be a 2-shot, and we got confused. But thanks to him just using Ingrain after and not hitting ourselves in confusion, it went really well. We even got a special defense drop on it and took it out pretty fast. Armaldo right after hit an Ancient Power to take nearly 100 of our health, but we took it out in 2 hits and healed back up just a little bit. Last is Aggron. We hit really hard with Thunderbolt right off the bat, as it thankfully missed with a Thunder that I doubt would have made us faint, but could have paralyzed us and that would have doomed us. He tried holding on with some full restores, but it was only a matter of time before we took him out. We actually got the win on the Steven Stone fight. I'm really surprised. Seriously, I'm really surprised that Gastly did so well in this run. Like, we were crazy frail. I was shocked how well we did. I absolutely want to try Gastly-only runs in more games, especially Gens 4 and 5, since they have Shadow Ball as a special move. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Black with only 1 Trubbish. I love poison types, and Trubbish is really cool, so I'm pumped to see how that goes. I don't know, it learned some really cool moves early on, and it's got a really good ability for that game, but like no type coverage at all, so I want to see what happens. As always, I'm looking at your suggestion in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Okay, outro time. This is all ad-libbed, of course. I don't have a script or anything for this, and this is all just gonna be medical stuff, so if you're not interested, I would just skip to the next video in the playlist. This might even be old by the time you're watching it, who knows. I'm recording this voiceover on Friday, July the 26th, 2024, okay? I specify that because I know that this isn't going to come out for a little while, because I gotta edit it, and then it goes up the next week, you know? Okay, so I've been to the hospital 3 times in the last 10 days? Yes, 10 days. One time I walked in, but the first time and the last time was like I passed out at home and an ambulance came and got me. Thankfully, the first time I had someone with me who was able to secure me so I didn't like fall to the floor. The second time I didn't fully lose consciousness, I just came really close to it. So I was able to like get myself down to the floor and call 911 in time, thankfully. We don't know what's wrong yet. What we know is that it's caused by blood pressure drops. My blood pressure keeps dropping to like super low levels and I pass out. We don't really know what causes it yet. I wish I could give you more info. I've seen 7 doctors between the hospital visits and I've been to a walk-in clinic twice now. Mostly just to get blood work done and stuff. God, I don't even know if I want to like just rattle off every single thing that's happened in the last 10 days because I figure that at the end of this whole thing, I could probably just make a vlog for people who are curious and catalog everything once I actually have a diagnosis. But I'm going to try my best to give you like the short version. At the very end of last month, so at the end of June, I think it was like the 29th, I had my wisdom teeth taken out on the top row. You probably already heard me talk about that if you've listened to outros or if you follow me on Twitter. But yeah, I had my top row wisdom teeth taken out. It was a really, really simple procedure. I didn't need to get put under for it. Just, you know, they give you the needle with the numbing stuff. Wasn't prescribed any painkillers or antibiotics or anything like that after. And the surgeon believed it was going to be a very easy recovery. And it did feel like a very easy recovery. Here we are like 4 weeks later, and I still have a little bit of soreness in the sockets a little bit, but I got off the phone with the oral clinic today, and the nurse thought that it doesn't sound like I have an infection there, but that if it's not healed up in 2 weeks, then I'm going to book an appointment and go back there, and they're going to take a look at it just in case. But right after I got those wisdom teeth out, I started having like a lot of gastric upset, you know? And I assumed it was just because I was on like a liquid and mashed potato diet for a week after, because like obviously you can't eat solid food right after you have teeth pulled out. I had some wisdom teeth that were going kind of crooked and weird, and they were going bad slowly because they just, you know, the weird shape meant they couldn't be cleaned properly, really. So they thought, let's just take them out. You don't need them anyway. And yeah, I'm happy to get them out. I was actually, I think I said this in one of the previous ones, but I was excited for the appointment to get the wisdom teeth out, and the surgeon laughed and called me a sicko because no one gets excited for these things, but I don't know, it didn't hurt, so they just give you some needles and then you don't feel it, so whatever. Anyway, I thought the gastric upset and the sore throat and all of that, like I had a sore throat around then. I still have it a little bit. I don't know what that is. None of the doctors have really cared about that because there's more pressing things going on with my health. Yeah, basically over the course of a couple of weeks, even after I started returning to eating very normally, which for me is just a lot of home-cooked meals, rice, potato, chicken, salmon, a lot of veggies, a lot of fruit, stuff like that. I eat like 300 calories worth of chips or ice cream most days, so just a little bit of junk food in there. But, you know, overall a very clean diet, loads and loads of water. I don't drink pop, nothing like that. So it was weird that my digestion wasn't really returning to normal. And I kept getting like what felt like pressure along like my waistline, right? And occasionally as the weeks went on, it would have like a little bit of a burning sensation with it. Well, last week on Tuesday, hold on, let me pop open the calendar. What day was that? That was the 16th of June. Okay, so on the 16th of June, I passed out at home shortly after eating a little bit of breakfast. I was eating a little bit of breakfast, and I was feeling so rough that morning. I ate a little bit of my breakfast, which was some homemade egg fried rice. I eat it all the time. I was feeling really, really rough. I only ate a little bit of it, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna stand up and stretch. Maybe I'm sitting too long. I stood up and I did a back stretch I normally do. You know, it's standing cobra. It's like a yoga stretch where you bend over backwards. And I go upright from it, and my hearing kind of goes out a little bit. And I remember saying out loud, because I was there with someone, I remember saying like, oh, I never lose hearing from that. That's a new one. Then I started to feel a little shaky and my face went kind of numb-ish. And I sat down in my chair and I said, that doesn't happen. And then just a little bit of time passed. Like, it was probably seconds. And I remember saying out loud, I think I'm going to pass out. And that's the last thing that I remember for a minute before I remember just the blurry vision of like the room and the outline of my girlfriend who was there. And I couldn't say anything for ages, but I could kind of tell it was the room and where I was and that she was there, but like words weren't coming. And eventually I came to and I was able to talk a little, and she called 911 and an ambulance came to get me, and she helped me down to the floor where I was until they showed up. And they checked my blood pressure and everything, and it was super low. And then they sat me up and they checked my blood pressure again, and it was even lower when I sat up. Eventually, I was able to walk out to the ambulance on my own 2 feet, which was nice. But, you know, I had to go to the hospital. Obviously, I had to go to the hospital with that going on. They had to check me out. Saw 2 doctors that day. They didn't know what was wrong. Obviously, they can't just diagnose you on the spot. I understand from talking to a lot of people from different countries that it's different in different countries, where they try to get you a diagnosis before they let you out. But the way it is, at least here in Ontario, Canada, is the hospital's job is mostly just to, like, make sure you're not dying while you're there. And then once they have you stable and they feel safe letting you go home, then it's just up to your GP, your family doctor or whatever, to follow up and figure out what's wrong. Obviously, they did a lot of blood work. I've been doing a ton of blood work over the last 10 days. I'm just covered in marks from that. I'm double bruised up on both insides of my elbows, big bruises from all the blood work. But yeah, that was like a scary thing, you know? I had been feeling rougher and rougher as the days went on, but that day was rough. Naturally, you know, I call my GP and I go to book an appointment. My old doctor actually just retired, so I haven't met the new one yet. But I know my mom sees her, same doctor. So she's an all right doctor. So I book an appointment, but they're all the way booked up until August 8th, which was a long time for back then, and it's still a long time now. I tried holding on. I tried just, you know, keep working. Obviously, I gotta keep working. Same reason you gotta keep working, right? Bills gotta get paid. People rely on you. People rely on me. So I can't just lay around and do nothing. I gotta keep working. But I just did my best to take care of my body and to try and make sure that I'm eating as clean as I possibly could. I was still getting the pressures. It feels like a gastric upset. Sometimes it's pain rather than just like a bloating or a swelling. Sometimes it's so bloated or swollen or whatever word you want to use that you can actually feel with your hand that something is there, and pressing on it sure does make it burn more. That can be very difficult because, you know, I got to sit down for my job, but sitting down puts some pressure on that area, even if I'm wearing very loose clothing. So sometimes I can't sit. I got to lay down flat on my back and hope to be okay for a while. Thankfully, my mom has a at-home blood pressure testing kit that she had for her own health issues in the past, and she brought that over so I can test my blood pressure at home. Because I can tell you that earlier today, before I did this voiceover, like as I was sitting down to originally start the voiceover, like 5-6 hours ago, when I originally sat down to do it, I lost hearing in my right ear and my face went flush, and I immediately just speed walked to my bed, laid down comfy, gave her a call. Because yeah, I've been to the hospital 3 times now. There's only so much they can do, you know? It was like on Friday, let me check the date. Friday the 19th? Yes, on Friday the 19th, so a week ago from the day I'm recording this, I went into the hospital, like I walked into the hospital, and because the pain was getting worse. That time I saw the only doctor who didn't care and was awful and checked nothing. I literally said to her, look, I think if you don't do anything, you're just gonna see me again tomorrow when I show up in an ambulance. Now, I was wrong. I was wrong because it was 2 days, not 1 day, and I didn't see her again because I got good doctors that time, but I kind of feel like I deserve partial points for that prediction. Nostradamus over here, being able to spot the obvious from a mile away, that if you do nothing, I will not get better. She prescribed me an anti-cramp medication. By prescribed, I guess she recommended. It's an over-the-counter drug, and you know what? It did nothing. But the good thing, if you can call this a good thing, on that Sunday, which would be the 21st, on the 21st, I came really close to passing out at home, but I knew I was in danger of it. So again, call my mom because she has a house key, call 911. Actually, the ambulance got here first and they were pounding on the door. So I had to haul myself up from underneath of my work table, run down the stairs and open the door because I knew they were going to bash that door open eventually if they didn't know that I was okay. And I can't have them break the door. I have cats. I don't want them to get out. I got to take care of the cats. So I was able to get down there in time. To be honest, the paramedics didn't take a great care of me that time, but whatever. I got to the hospital, and what matters is I saw 2 really good doctors that time at the hospital. The first one was just ending a shift, but he still took care of me, and he prescribed me a probiotic, or recommended. I don't know if you prescribe that. He wrote me a note for it, but you can just buy that. But the second doctor that I saw while I was still there, that was the time that I was there for like 8.5 hours, 9 hours. I was there for a long time. That doctor really cared. The first time I was at the hospital, they did a CT scan on my abdomen because they wanted to make sure I don't have like a blockage in my intestines or anything. And I didn't, thankfully. They didn't see anything abnormal. When I went on Sunday, though, in the ambulance again, that doctor was a saint. He stuck with me for a long time and was really trying to troubleshoot with me. He did a CT scan of my brain. He wanted to make sure this wasn't a neurological thing. It wasn't. We're good on that. He wants to refer me to a cardiologist again. I saw one 2 years ago during my previous medical stuff, which seems to be unrelated to this because that was neck stuff. He does want me to see a cardiologist again just in case because he really wants to rule out it being a heart problem, but it doesn't look like it's a heart problem. The most important thing is that he prescribed me an antibiotic. I'm, I think a little less than halfway through taking that. I think it's helped. Because 2 days ago, as the day went on, I was feeling almost normal. And then yesterday, I was feeling almost normal until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Then I had a little bit of the pain and pressure back, but it wasn't keeping me from doing stuff. But then today, the pressure is worse, the pain is worse, and I started getting really lightheaded again. And my blood pressure got really bad again, and I called my mom to say, like, hey, I just want to be on the phone with you just in case I'm passing out. And she's like, we can't just keep calling the ambulance because we already know that they're not going to be able to do anything until you see the specialists at this point. So she just ended up coming over just to be with me and make sure that I'm okay. And she took care of me, made me a little bit of food, got me some water and stuff, and I ended up getting a little better as the day went on. In fact, in case there's any doctors out there that are curious, because I do know that a lot of medical professionals watch me, I'm not trying to outsource my medical stuff or not, but I'm sure some of you are really curious because the last time I had medical problems 2 years ago, I had a lot of doctors messaging me who were simply curious to know some of my lab results. Hey, if you want to know what my blood pressure was today at 5:20 p.m., I did 3 blood pressure tests over the course of 10 minutes while laying flat on my bed. The first one was 112/56 with a pulse of 73. The second was 97/55. The third was 91/59. I do think I might have a little bit of a low resting blood pressure in general, but this is very low for me. The pulse was just within the 70s for all of those. At 7 p.m., when I was feeling a bit better, I sat up and I did a blood pressure test that was 97/58, again 75 pulse. So it was about the same as it was when I was laying down earlier. And then I had a shower, and about 20 minutes after that, I stood up and did a standing blood pressure test, which was 103/70 with a pulse of 101. I guess that pulse is a little bit high for me just standing still. That is a little weird for me, but like that's not a dangerous number. And 103/70, yeah, the 70 is a little bit lower than I would like, but it's a lot better than it was earlier in the day. So My mom went home around then. I got a whole lot of water in me. I cooked up some eggs. I ate them, and then I got right in front of my computer to do this voiceover. It's 9:20 at night. I know that a lot of people are going to be very worried about me and frantically trying to say, did they check this? Did they check this? My grandpa had this. My uncle had this. I had this. I get a lot of that. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to dissuade all of that. Obviously, there's going to be people who actually do have helpful information for this, but obviously, I haven't shared every last little bit of the medical details here because I'm not going to remember all of it off the top of my head, and some of it's probably irrelevant, and I'm rambling, you know? But they did check me for appendicitis. I know a lot of people are going to ask. That really good doctor I got on that third hospital trip, he said, we're going to check you for appendicitis right away because it kind of sounds like that. They checked me, not appendicitis. My appendix was a normal size. They've done a ton of blood work on me, so I don't think it's my kidneys. I'm pretty sure they would have figured that out by now. And it seems like my blood work is mostly coming back normal. There were 2 blood tests I did on that Sunday that came back with a weird number. It was my sulfate? I think it's called sulfate. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. The doctor said that my number on both of those was very low. I don't remember if he said that is caused by hyperventilation or it causes hyperventilation. But I was having a hard time breathing deep at the time because I was in a lot of pain, and thus, naturally, you kind of clench up and hold your breath without thinking. That was a hard hospital stay, man. Oh. I was so exhausted too, because I barely slept that night because of the pain. Acetaminophen really wasn't doing it for me, but even he told me, stick with acetaminophen, you should be taking it daily right now, you probably need it. So yeah, I'm taking his advice. I'm on the acetaminophen, I'm on the antibiotic, I've got that probiotic too, I'm on that. And he prescribed me, that really good one prescribed me, wait, no, was it him or was it one of the walk-in clinic doctors who prescribed? Whatever. One of them prescribed me some pills for nerve pains in the abdomen. I think that's how he explained it to me. It's one that you have to like wean yourself off of at the end though. So it's kind of a take as needed. It's a weird one. But I am using that because it seems like it might be helping. I don't know. I had 2 days where I was feeling pretty good on the 24th and 25th, but then today I had this whole thing where like my hearing went out in one ear and my face went flush and numb when I was about to do a voiceover and I had to go lay down. I don't know, man. Nearly every doctor has told me drink extra fluids. I already drink a lot of water. I told them how much I drink, which is, I have a 64 ounce, jar isn't the right word, bottle of water, just a huge carry bottle, like a swell bottle. 64 ounces, I drink 1.5 a day on average. That's what I aim for. They said drink even more, go to the bathroom more often, salt your food more, because you need the extra sodium right now, which is great. I love salting my food. Take it easy if possible. And, wait on that appointment, because the thing is, I have a referral for, or rather, I don't have a referral for. I need to see my GP to get a referral for a gastroenterologist, which the doctors were all very insistent that that's a good idea. I already have a referral to a urologist in case it's my bladder. I have a referral to a cardiologist. They're supposed to be calling me. It's been over a week and they haven't called me. So I might need to call them or something. I don't know. I think there's another referral that's slipping my mind right now, but I might just be thinking of the dental surgery clinic thing, which is not a referral. Yeah. I might just be thinking of that. I don't know. I'm a little scatterbrained right now. I don't feel great. My eyes lose focus a little bit. It's been hard. It's been hard. But I'm working on through. The show must go on. I'm still working hard at my job because I have to. I know I always get flooded with messages of take it easy, take time off. We understand. Do gaps and uploads. We understand. And I always just have to say, I know you guys understand that. I know that you guys wouldn't be mad at me if I had to take a health break from videos, but you know what doesn't understand is bills. I still gotta pay bills, you know? Like, look, you know that I just went through a divorce, and I promised my ex-wife that I would take care of her. I stick to my promises, so I gotta look out for her. I gotta look out for Mom. I got people that I gotta look out for, and I gotta look out for myself as well, because money was tight before these medical issues. So money's obviously gonna be tighter now. I live in Canada, and I know you always hear free healthcare if you don't live in Canada, and it's the only thing you know about this country, but any Canadian will tell you it ain't free. You still pay for all of your prescriptions, you still pay for any drug that the doctor tells you to go get, you still pay for ambulance rides, and sometimes they really charge you for those ambulance rides. So it's not cheap. I gotta keep working. So I just need to be incredibly careful about when I think I'm gonna pass out, and really work myself to the bone when I'm feeling capable of it. It's just how it is. There's no real alternative to that. So try not to worry too hard about me. If you are worrying about me and you want to know how I'm doing today, check my Twitter. I do updates as often as I can on Twitter because I know you guys care. I'm incredibly fortunate that 14 years of doing this full time now, and I'm like the only, okay, I'm not gonna say the only, I'm one of a depressingly few amount of people who are not afraid of their audience. Like, I don't know, I feel like the people who are usually really annoyed with me, they just stop watching me. So for the most part, people who actively watch me genuinely like me as a person, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I just gotta keep working. I'm gonna keep on trucking through. I'm sorry this whole outro part is so long. It's why I said to skip it if you want to skip it. I'm not gonna put any mid-rolls in this whole outro bit, which is gonna cost me money, but whatever. I don't feel right putting mid-rolls in the outro. I never put mid-rolls in the outro. That feels weird. Unless YouTube automatically puts it in, because YouTube does automatically put in some mid-rolls sometimes, and you have to go back and fix it, because I'm gonna say cuz and then say a reason. I don't know why YouTube does that. YouTube is just so frustrating whenever they update anything, and it changes all of your old settings. It's a nightmare. Anyway, oh god, what else can I say? Because I know that you're gonna have so many questions, and I want to preempt them the best that I can. I feel some pressure and some burning right now, and I know that my blood pressure is a little bit low, but it's not low enough that I'm passing out. You can hear me talking, I'm articulating. I didn't have a stroke when I passed out. You can tell that I'm still lucid, I'm talking, I have a full memory of what happened, other than, of course, the about 30 seconds that I was unconscious. I obviously don't have a memory of that. I don't have any blockages or anything in my intestines. They already checked for that. Oh, I had some ultrasounds on my abdomen several times, actually, for different things. I already said appendix. They ultrasounded my heart once, just a quick one in the hospital, not like a cardiology clinic one where they put you on the bike. That's what I was doing like 2 years ago. The more intense stuff like that. I've done some EKGs, I think they're called, where they put the stickers on you and the wires on you, and I think they're checking your heart for that. Nothing weird came up there. I was saying before that my sulfate, I think it's sulfate, was low on 2 of the blood tests I got when I was in that last hospital stay. After I went home, I actually got just a personal phone call on my cell phone from that really good doctor saying, hey, can you go back into the emergency room right away and get a blood test for sulfate? Your numbers are really low, and we just want to make sure that it wasn't a bad reading, because it might have been a bad reading. And I said, I have slept about 1 hour in the last 30 hours. And he laughed and he said, okay, sleep and go to a walk-in clinic and get it done tomorrow. So I did. And I got that blood work done. I've got the result back. That number is normal now. So that was actually just a bad reading. Or at least it probably was a bad reading. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Haven't heard from that doctor since, but he's like an ER doctor, so I think that checks out. I'm probably never going to meet him again, which is a shame because he really looked out for me. Like, seriously, above and beyond for an ER doctor. He really cared. Oh man, and that last doctor I saw at the walk-in clinic, the most recent doctor I saw, gave me like a really thorough physical exam on my abdomen, pressing on different parts, moving my legs in different way, asking what does and doesn't hurt and how it feels and seeing how my body reacted. That guy really cared. You know what? I think that was the guy who prescribed me the abdominal nerve pain pills. They're like little circular blue ones. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It probably doesn't matter. Even if I knew the name, one of you in the audience would know what that drug is. Oh, I feel awful. This whole outro bit is almost as long as the entire rest of the video. I hope this was interesting to somebody. I don't want to ask for money, especially considering I'm still working right now, so it's not like I'm completely incapacitated. But I know that anytime I talk about any medical thing, people yell at me to drop the Patreon link. I know because, I mean, I don't even need to prove it. You can go on my Twitter and you can see the people tweeting that. So if you want to, it's completely optional. This show is free. This show will always be free. I do have a Patreon in the description. There's no rewards on there or anything. It's basically like a tip jar type thing where if you want to support the show, then it's there and it's appreciated. I also have a link there for like individual donations. I think it just goes through like PayPal, but it's like a stream tip kind of thing, you know? That's there if you want to. But again, seriously, take care of you and yours first before you take care of me and mine. And I'll probably be okay. I mean, they didn't see tumors in me or anything when they did any of the scans, so I don't think I'm, like, full of tumors and about to die or something. Rest assured that if my diagnosis at the end of this whole thing does end up being cancer, then I'll actually be able to show documents to prove it. Unlike some people on the internet in the last couple months. Yeah, whatever the diagnosis ends up being at the end of this whole thing, I'll tell you. And if I have like a document to prove it, I'm assuming they'll show me a document to prove it, then I can just scan it and show it to you guys and blank out any personal info. Because like, I look, this is how it is when you work on the internet. People are going to call you a liar no matter what. People are going to think that you're exaggerating or that you're just trying to get sympathy or money or whatever they think that you're trying to get. So it's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes you gotta prove it. It's just how it is. I don't mind that. You already know that I'm a pretty public guy. I do have a private life, obviously, but I'm a pretty public guy. I always have been. If you've only been watching me in the last few years, then you've probably seen very few vlogs from me, but I used to do weekly vlogs just on the side for a long time. I don't know, I've always talked about my personal life a bit on the show. It's part of what makes the show special, is that it's genuine, you know? It's a real person, you know? Hi, I'm not just Mah-Dry-Bread. Mah-Dry-Bread isn't a username, that was my nickname in high school, you know? That was what real life people called me in person before YouTuber was a job. Like, my name is Madrot Stowe, that's public information. That's the show. It's me and my friends goofing off and having fun and making videos, and sometimes I do videos alone, and sometimes I do them with my friends, and what do you know? One of my series I did alone, this Pokemon Challenge series, is the one that happened to take off. I still absolutely adore doing Let's Plays and streams, and I hate that I haven't had the opportunity to do more lately, but the real heartbreaking thing about all of this is that in the weeks leading up to me getting hospitalized, I finally had no more appointments coming up and no more obligations for really important things around the house or for other people or for whatever. I was finally gonna like do stuff for fun. I had written down on my calendar, message friends about recording videos. And I was gonna bulk message a whole bunch of my friends and catch up with them and make fun videos again like we used to. And then I went to the hospital like 3 days before the day that I was going to message them all. So I'm still going to record with some of them, maybe some like short, easy things if my health is doing okay, when I can. It's up in the air. It'll happen eventually. I'll be healthy again eventually. I know that much. I hope I can figure out what's wrong with my throat, because it's still a little bit sore every day, but every time I bring that up to a doctor, they frankly do not care. They're always way more concerned about the abdomen thing, and I guess I understand that. And, and there was a doctor at the hospital last time who swabbed my throat, and he didn't find anything weird with that, so it's probably not anything severe, I guess. Probably. Seems weird to have a sore throat for a whole month, but what are you gonna do? I don't think I actually have enough footage of the credits from the Gastly run to fill out how long this outro went. I didn't think this outro would go so long. I don't know. Maybe I'll just show the credits twice. Okay, that's a sign that I should shut up though, and probably walk around a little bit, make sure I'm doing okay, make sure my head's okay, get a little more water in me, cook some more food. I literally just cooked up a couple eggs, wolfed them down, and then got back in the recording studio. The recording studio sounds so fancy, doesn't it? It's a small side bedroom in the house that I decked out with sound foam and my recording equipment. Yeah, okay. It's 9:30? Okay, I'm still working then. I'm gonna stop this recording, and then I'm gonna get editing this, because I'm kind of doing better tonight, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. I'm gonna try and just blitz through all of the editing tonight so that you guys get this video for sure. As long as I get the editing done tonight, then I can have it uploaded on the channel as unlisted. I can do the thumbnail. In fact, I think I pre-did the thumbnail for this one. I could be wrong. I can do it tonight if not. That way, even if I become incapacitated, I could be laying down and I could tell the video to go live from my phone. So at least you guys get the video, at least I get paid a little bit for it, and you know what's going on even if you don't have Twitter then. Okay, I'm gonna pry myself away now. Sorry, I feel a little better while I'm talking because at least I'm distracted, you know? That's just how it is with me. I'm a big talker. I'm sure you've figured that out already. I hope that I'm healthy enough to do some Let's Play videos for you soon. I hope I'm healthy enough to do some streams for you soon. I miss hanging out with you guys on Twitch. I really miss just playing video games and hanging out with you guys, so let's do that again soon. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.